Hi, everyone. This is Jill from Paws and Tails, Reiki and Therapeutic Massage. And I'm here in the Tampa Bay area, and I'm a nationally certified small animal massage therapist and Reiki teacher. And I'm really lucky to be here today with another Jill that's an expert animal communicator. And we're going to talk about how our animals know what's going on with us and if they know and how to understand that. But before I do that, if you're interested in the topic of animal communication, if you go ahead and press the like button below and subscribe, because we're going to talk again and do other videos, and that way you get an alert that we're going to do that. And so this is Jill and Jill above me here. It might get a little confusing. It's kind of like the Jill and Jill J&J show.
Yeah, it's funny because Jill and I, when we were planning this, we were thinking, okay, what cool kind of thing could we do with the J&J? So I was thinking about it, when I thought about animals, what J words came to mind? And the first word that came to mind was joy, because our animals bring us so much joy, right? They're just pure joy and love. And then the second word that came to mind for me was jokes, because what I find in communicating with animals is, each one is very unique, and some of them have incredible senses of humor. They're really funny and even very sarcastic sometimes.
Oh, yeah. And as you said that, mine got up and started going to the door. Trying to find something. All right, I do need to use glasses, but let me introduce you, Jill. Jill is a professional animal communicator and coach, and she communicates telepathically with animals and coaches, pet parents, veterinarians, and other pet professionals on transformation and pet loss. And she guides people through the emotional challenges with their pets and helps distraught pet parents navigate illness, aging, grief, and loss. And she'll communicate with any species and those that have passed on. And she does sessions by phone, so she can speak to people worldwide. She also writes a blog and a free Healing with Animals newsletter and a free Vet Tips for Thriving newsletter. So this is Jill. Now, Jill, how did you get started in animal communication?
Yeah, I think I was born to be an animal communicator. It just took me a little time to realize that. I came out of the womb just adoring all animals. And, for many years, I did some informal rescuing, always around loving animals. I did pet loss counseling for many years. And then Hurricane Sandy came along. And it was one of those moments in time where you get real with yourself and you take a step back and evaluate your life. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I realized it was time to sort of integrate everything I had done before and really step up to the plate and do the work I came here to do, which was really be a voice for animals. It was not something I ever thought I would do or even could do, but there it is.
It's exciting. It sounds like you did what I did. It's a second career, or third or fourth, you get into it.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how you got into your business.
Well, it's not how I started out. I did study biology and animals when I was in college, and then went into teaching, and then did something totally different in real estate for a while. But I started in human Reiki to deal with stress, just learning Reiki for myself to deal with stress. And then I kind of realized I was really good doing that with the animals. So I went on and trained with someone who was an animal Reiki expert and kind of went that way. And then I stumbled into animal massage and trained and did clinical trainings with that. And then I ended up transitioning part-time, and now I'm full-time in this. So decided, with all my background and training before, maybe I could use it to start my own business and help animals at the same time.
Great. That sounds wonderful. Yeah. And the training can be really helpful because when I decided that I wanted to pursue this, I pursued a certificate in animal communication, and we would just get on the phone and just talk to all different animals, wild animals, domestic animals, and it was just amazing. Animals who passed over.
Yeah, I think when I look back at my childhood, I started realizing I had been doing it as a kid, that I was having conversations in my head with some of the animals and they were reacting. And my brother and I can tell you all kinds of stories. I won't go into that now, but just being that person that they would come up to, whether it was a zoo or just out on a hike, and they'll just appear, and just having that bond with wildlife too. And animal communication for me plays a part into what I do with the Reiki and the physical massage treatments that I do, because sometimes the animal, if they'll open up to me, can kind of show me where their pain is, so to speak. I don't hear words or anything, but they can physically show me where their pain is, and that helps me treat them. So it's a tool for me too, but in a different way than you do it.
Yeah, it's interesting because when we communicate, animals can relay messages to us in so many different ways. So it sounds like, you get your messages in a certain way. And I know for me, the animals can communicate in a number of different ways. Sometimes a word will pop into my mind that comes from them. Sometimes it's a sentence. Sometimes it's a question. It might be an image that they send me. It might be a sound. It could be a smell. So yeah, so the animals are so creative and so wise, and they know exactly how to get their point across to whoever they're trying to reach.
So what services do you offer?
Yeah, so in terms of my animal communication work, I tend to work with those instances where there's some real pain points in the relationship. Since I have a background in counseling, the animals tend to bring me their people when there's some kind of misunderstanding in the relationship, or there's something that the animals really want their people to know, either for their own sakes or for their people. And so people will come to me for pet grief sessions, people whose animals have passed over. And so they want to hear how their animals are doing, which people tend to find very comforting because animals can have a very different perspective on life and death than we do. I also do missing animal sessions. So when an animal is missing, it can be very helpful for pet parents to hear how their animal is doing, to hear any instructions or wishes they may have. And that can clear away a lot of the anxiousness and the fear that people have. And then they're in a better place to make decisions about, what makes the most sense. Sometimes animals are off on an adventure, and, they'll say, look, I'm just out exploring, I'll be back. They're our babies. So when they're away, we are ultra concerned. And at the same time, sometimes they're much better able to fend for themselves than we think they are. And so I also do pet wellness sessions. So to check in to see how a pet is doing emotionally and or physically, if there are any health issues, to check in, to also check in with the pet and see what kind of healing modalities they may be interested, what they think might be helpful. And, I certainly work in conjunction with veterinarians when there's, some kind of health issue. So we're really approaching things holistically. And then in terms of my coaching, all of my coaching is inspired by animals and nature. And so I do transformational coaching where we kind of let animals and nature lead the way they tend to adapt to change so much better than humans do. And so it's really helpful for people who are in life transitions or want to make changes in their lives to sort of have the guidance of the animal and nature kingdom. And then I also do pet loss coaching. So in pet loss coaching, I'm not actually communicating with someone's pets, but I'm really kind of using my counseling and coaching background to help someone move through their grief in healthy ways that really honor themselves and their beloved companions. And then I also do veterinary coaching, where I work with veterinarians and other pet professionals who have very unique challenges, right? Veterinarians make some life and death decisions that no other professional does. And it comes with some unique stressors. They also always have at least two clients, right? Human and animal. And very often their human clients are coming in very stressed because they're concerned about their animals. And so I work with veterinarians and pet professionals to really be able to do their jobs in relation to the animals, and at the same time be able to work with the pet parents in healthy, constructive ways so that they're all on the same page and sort of working as a team together.
Yeah, I really admire you helping the veterinarians. Part of an organization I belong to called SARA, Shelter Animal Reiki Association. We actually do free meditative learning sessions at vet offices because of that very thing for stress, to teach them how to kind of take a breath, be in a place with the animals and deal with it. But I can see how I'm not a counselor. I'm just there to show them how to breathe and meditate. But, so it's really cool. Now, everything that I do is pretty much locally. I can do distance Reiki, but I'm pretty much local. I offer in the Tampa Bay area, mostly on the Gulf side. If you're not familiar with Florida, I'm on the Pinellas County side. And I have a studio that I'm sitting in now, and I decided to sit in front of the butterflies, and so did you. And we did not plan this, by the way. But I'm
synchronicity, right?
I'm in the butterfly corner right now of my studio, and I usually have a blanket or a mat on the floor here, and that's where I do massage therapy work, soft tissue work, and Reiki sessions with animals. I also travel to people's homes, so I am mobile. If it's far away, yeah, there's a fee because, time and gas, and there's a lot of traffic where I live. So I could spend 3 hours going to a 1 hour session, but I love it. And I offer that service for the older dogs that can't travel in the car very well, or they just had surgery and they can't really have the bouncing around. And then I do some classes. COVID slowed down the classes a little bit. I'm starting to get back into teaching first aid and pet animal Reiki, not Reiki attunements right now, but so I'm getting back into that, and I'm developing a how to massage your own dog safely course, not for other dogs, but just your own. And we work with your veterinarian's notes. So those are some of the things I'm doing, but they are all local, which is why I thought it'd be cool to talk to you and introduce you to my local area, because I don't know a lot of people here that do what you do, and you could help them even from, are you in sunny New York today? Or
I am in very sunny New York today, and I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. Yeah, I'm a big sun person, and I love the energy of the sun. So I'm sure you can relate to that, being a Reiki practitioner.
Yeah, my dog is now deciding now he's laying down again, but you might hear him whimpering in the background. He saw something outside the glass door. So we should probably get started with our actual topic today that we were gonna. So if you haven't liked and subscribed, if you would take the time to do that right now, I really appreciate it. But we're gonna actually talk for a little while about, do our pets understand us and know what is going on in our lives. And then I want to know if they tell you or, you know, I hope they don't tell you some things, but okay, I'm gonna let you go first. So do our pets understand us and know what's going on in our lives?
Yes. Well, I will get to that in a moment, but I just want to address the thing you alluded to, that animals love their people so much. So when I communicate with them, they are not there to tattle on their people. So it's not about they're going to share things you don't want anyone to know. Really, they share out of love for their people, out of wanting to express themselves. So let's just lay the other thing to rest, right? And yes, animals absolutely know what's going on in their lives, in the lives of their beloved people. You know, they absolutely do. You know, sometimes a client will come to me and say, you know, I'm going away for a couple of weeks. You know, does my dog know? Is he okay with it? Or, you know, we're going to be moving. You know, does my cat know that? Is she going to adjust to it okay, right? All of these concerns that we have because we love them so much. And, you know, what I hear from the animals is that they know exactly what's going on. And, you know, the thing is, sometimes we think that if we want our animals to do a certain something or not do a certain something, that they would just go along with it. But the thing is that our animals are their own beings and they have their own desires, their own goals, their own ways of looking at things. So, you know, sometimes they'll behave in ways because they want to get our attention. And sometimes the only way to really get our attention is to behave in a way that forces us to sort of wake up and say, hey, you know, what's going on here? So they absolutely know. Sometimes, though, they don't necessarily realize how something impacts us. You know, for example, you know, they may sort of know that, you know, we don't like so much when they pee on the couch, right? But they may not kind of get that it feels humiliating to us, or we feel like they don't love us, or they may not understand the extent of how it impacts us. Mm-hmm. And so that's one of the things that, you know, when I communicate with people and their pets, and it's a three-way dialogue, right? So it's sort of being a translator and helping both parties to understand each other better. So one of the things that I can often do with the animal is explain to the animal their person's perspective and why this is so important. That it's not just, you know, I wish you wouldn't pee on the couch, or I wish you wouldn't jump up on people, that there's emotional reasons connected to it, and explain to the animal a little bit more about what it means. And then sometimes we sort of do a negotiation, right, back and forth. They're like, well, you know, I kind of really, you know, have been doing this, or it's a habit, and it may take some time and some reminders to change the habit. But you know what, like if my person could remind me, or my person could give me an extra treat, you know, so there's, you know, different ways to kind of navigate it.
They're waiting for you to hire Cesar Millan, the famous trainer, and get them in shape. Get them cooperating. Oh yeah, I find I think sometimes people worry when you have some abilities to communicate with animals, and mine are not nearly what you do, is that they get worried that, like you said, they're going to tell secrets, they're going to tell on us. And it's like, no, if I get something too, it's like a little movie picture. You know, every now and then, especially with older dogs, they might communicate, besides just telling me where the pain is or showing me where the pain is. They might give me a little 3-second movie clip of what they did when they were younger. And it's a gift to me. I don't always share that with the pet parent, because lots of times they aren't there for the communication. They're just there for their pet to get, massage therapy. But it's a gift to me when the animal does that. And I say, thank you back. Thank you for sharing. Because you can't just look at them. This is the Reiki eyes that I'm trained to look at. You can't just look at them the way their body is now if they're injured, because I work a lot with injured and older animals. They want to be seen as young, like when they were puppy, and they're full of love and energy, and they don't want you to sit and feel sorry for them. That's what the message I get a lot. They're like, look at me, I'm in here. I'm still in here. But, well, what do you find with those dogs that are getting older?
Yeah, no, exactly. And, that's one of the reasons that I've always done sessions via phone instead of in person, because, I have my own mind, right? And so if I see an animal that looks a little frail to me, my mind can go to places about what I think the animal might be experiencing. And, very often once I, communicate with the animal, they're in a totally different place. And they may say, hey, so what? My body isn't what it once was, but I have a great life. I love my family. I have great food. I get to relax. My quality of life is great. I'm not planning on going anywhere right now. And I'm just having a great life. And so, animals tend to look at life and death very differently than we do. They adapt to changes in their surroundings, in their bodies, much more easily than humans do. Is they don't have judgment the way that humans do, right? They don't do the woulda, coulda, shoulda that humans do. And I think that may, make it easier for them to kind of roll with the punches, so to speak, and move with the flow of nature, right? Because when you think about it, the most natural thing in life is change. And that's one of the things nature and animals teach us. And they're absolutely here to teach us lessons and be our guides. And that's one of the wonderful lessons that they love to teach us, right? And I have learned some of my greatest lessons about life from the animals in my life. And that's actually what got me into holistic health and healing and spirituality many years ago. Was my dog Misty, who had been diagnosed with cancer, and I knew she had more living to do. And so I proceeded to just do a lot of research and found different modalities that ultimately really helped her and helped both of us to have more time together.
Do you ever had an animal tell you, or have you figured out, how do they know they're going to the vet or we're going on vacation? It seems like they know before you even get the suitcases out, or before you even get the keys out and get in the car, start warming the car up to get them in to go to the vet. How do they know?
They know. It's funny that you say that, because a few nights ago I had thought I had gone to this fair, and I got this like play fire hat. And I had thought to myself, oh, this might be cute to try on Rocky and see how he looks in it. The thought occurred to me, and he ran under a piece of furniture. I didn't even make a movement towards it. So they know. I think on a few different levels. One is that they know everything that's going on, even if we don't say it out loud. Sometimes we're used to saying things out loud, and very often I'll do that with Rocky also, because I'm so used to doing it, but they're really communicating with us, via our mind. So we don't have to say it out loud. So they know firstly because they understand what we're thinking, and they also can understand our emotions. So sometimes we don't realize, like if we're planning to take our animal to the vet, we may start feeling anxious. We may start worrying. We may start, right? And they pick those emotions up right away. And so it's, you know, it can be a combination of them knowing what's going on. And then because they're sensing our anxiety around what's going on, then that can sort of heighten their sort of resistance to perhaps, you know, putting them into a carrier, or, you know, putting their collar and leash on, you know, whatever the case may be.
Oh man. So we could keep going, but we're going to run out of time here. So I'm going to put down in the description for the video how to reach Jill Lauri and how you can hire her to Animal Communicator, especially if you are a veterinarian or a vet tech or any other veterinary professional. I strongly recommend reach out to Jill. If you have any other questions about your animals, or you've lost an animal recently, as she's talked about all the different things she does for people, and we'll get that information to you. And what's the best way to reach you? Is it the website, email?
Yeah, really either. My website is healingwithanimals.com. And then my email is jill@healingwithanimals.com. And, you know, I have, you can book sessions right on my website. I also leave time open for emergencies or things that need more immediate attention. So, you know, please feel free to reach out.
And if you need to reach me, I mean, you're on my YouTube channel, but well, they may not be. I will put mine in the description below. And my phone number is 727-440-HEAL, as in to heal and get better, HEAL, which is 4325. And I'll have that down below. I also have a website, Paws with an S and Tails with an S, Reiki.com, or pawsandtailsmassage.com. And same thing, you can book an appointment, a session that way, or you can go old fashioned with the check or cash, because most of my clients are local. But if you're a tourist who is out of state right now and you want to book something for when you're in town, because we get a lot of tourists in the Tampa Bay area and they come down for a few months at a time. I've had Canadian clients, so you know, you're welcome to book something ahead. And so that's the way to reach me. So we're gonna need to wrap this up. I want to thank Jill for being here, and we're going to do another video. Next one is going to be on grief and loss of pets. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do that. That really helps get our message out there and helps us with our businesses as well. And if you'll like the video, which tells YouTube to share it with others. And I hope everyone has a really good week or day. Time we have left. Jill, do you have any last words?
Oh, well, thank you for sharing this time with me, Jill. And just so you all know that all of your animals are with you right now. They love you and they can't wait to talk with you. They love to be listened to, and they're sending all of you lots of love.
Okay. And I guess we got to say goodbye now. I'm going to turn up the music a little bit. Until we meet again, Jill, it was good to see you.
You too.